Hey everybody, quick disclaimer about this episode. We had some technical difficulties on this one. Shane's microphone dropped out about halfway through our episode. So if this one seems like it maybe takes a quick left turn towards the end, or if it just seems like, because it's a little short this week with a half-hour episode. We had a full hour that half of it just got chopped right off. So we wanted to get our thoughts out on The Mandalorian and Barry, and we managed to get all of that. So please enjoy this episode and stay to the end because we have a special message about how the show might be changing a little bit going forward. So check it out, and we'll see you guys later on in the week. Thanks. Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, recording live from his International Crime Syndicate meeting at Dave & Buster's, it is Shane Beauregard.
What's up?
One of my favorite things in the world. Oh, my God. We'll get into all of Barry and everything else, but God damn it, this show is spitting heat right now and only 3 episodes in. We're going to do a TV rundown episode today. We have a lot to talk about. Sorry for missing last week. I've been sick for 10 of the last 14 days at least, with 2 different illnesses, so apologize to everybody for missing last week. Lots to talk about. Barry just started back up. We got The Mandalorian just ending. But yeah, let's start off with Mando, The Mandalorian, which wrapped up over the last week or so. And my God, we've been tracking this, Shane, as you know, from being here on the podcast and just off air, a lot of conversations between us about how this season has gone, about how it barely should be called The Mandalorian. And now, the finale has come and gone. And now you've had time to sit with this season as a whole, see exactly what they were trying to do, ingest that whole final episode. Where do you stand with this complete season and where the show stands right now and how they landed the plane, I guess?
Man, it's been such an uneven season like we discussed in the past, but I will say I liked the last 2 episodes, and I liked the last episode. I really did. I know they tried to jam everything in, and it still wasn't just Mando. It was all the Mandalorians, Bo-Katan. I feel like it was mainly her story the last several episodes, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I really did like the last 2 episodes. That's what I wish this season was more concentrated on.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how we'll get to how it wrapped up, but I really did like the storyline and how it finished. I still wish they would have done away with Grogu because I cannot stand that character anymore.
It's getting weird.
I know. Like the scene, we'll get into it, but the scene where he's on the track, just running and flipping over on the track. I'm like, oh my God, that looks so goofy and so bad.
It does look goofy. Yeah.
It looked really bad, but I like the Bo-Katan stuff. I like where Mando ended up. I like how Bo-Katan fought Iron Gideon, as I like to call him now, because he's definitely Tony Stark armored up all of a sudden.
It's true.
Kicking ass left and right. And I'm like, okay, let's roll.
Yeah.
But no, I like the action. I like the faster paced episodes, man. And I will say, and we'll get into it more detailed, but I like how it wrapped up. And to me, they don't need a 4th season, and I pray they don't do a 4th season because to me, this storyline completely wrapped up. Grogu got what he wanted at the end. We'll get into it, but he got adopted, everybody, and
yeah,
I didn't mind it, but I did like all the action pieces in the last episode, man. That's what I wanted more of during this season. And I look back with the whole Gideon storyline. It's like, when you look back at the season, the episode I hated the most, which was the female spy from the New Empire, was unnecessary. It was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because his whole plan was cloning, and it's like you could have just wrote that in there, like he got the cloning devices from the new Resistance or whatever.
Yeah.
And you didn't need that whole 50-minute episode of the exploration of how she got the equipment for him and all that stuff, because she played no part in that last episode, really. Unnecessary. And that kind of pisses me off, because that's the unevenness of the show this season that really just kind of aggravated me just a little bit. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. And it's tough because I do look at a lot of these episodes, especially towards the end, with glasses of how the season has gone thus far. Like, you can't just take them all individually, I guess, because a lot of times in this particular season, I've been frustrated with the fact that Mando is sidelined hardcore. I don't think if you took what his character arc was from the very beginning of the season to now, there's very little to work with, very little growth, even though he was literally on like a spiritual quest and kind of a soul-searching part of his history to start the season. And yet the way it ends is not much different. And he kind of gave up a lot of pride and got constantly bailed out. And to me, the way I think about this season, and it kind of speaks to the finale, is, I think if I extracted moments, or if you told me this season was like not called the Mandalorian, but it was called Bo-Katan, like how Ashoka's season is coming up, or any of that stuff, and you told me that it's like the Book of Boba Fett, where the Mandalorian just comes out of nowhere, helps get them over the finish line in their quest, and then goes from there, I'd be like, yes, this is decent. Like if they took out all that other crap of like, the Jack Black and Lizzo episode, or that intro episode of like, having Mando go through the motions to get Bo-Katan in here and everything else. If this wasn't called The Mandalorian and they can shrink this down and make it like a mini series for Bo-Katan, it might actually interest me. Like, cause I like a lot of this stuff where like the Mandalorians are all getting together and fighting and things like that. The difference is it just took away these characters that I cared for the last few seasons and completely changed what the show was like from those early times to where that's why I like this show. So to have the label on it, that's where I get upset. And the best part of what you're going to say about all this is the increased action and the fact that Mando actually gets something to do, which is a lot of what the finale was. And having, his brethren alongside for the ride. But there are so many things, like the whole Darksaber thing, the fact that I don't know, you'll probably find this funny too. So remember the whole droid subplot is the most baffling thing of the whole thing, where we start out the season where Mando is on a quest to get his particular droid, that IG-11 or whatever it's called. And people offer him other droids, and he's like, no, I need this one. It's the only droid I trust because I don't trust droids, and I need a memory card and this and that, whatever. I need replacement parts. I need to fix my guy. And then, one episode they just go, well, I can't do that. It's they don't make those parts anymore. You want to take this droid? All right. And then flash forward even just a little slightly. Hey, got a gift for you. We gutted this sacred droid that you held so dear, and we turned it into essentially a flesh suit, like a robot suit, for Grogu to just walk around and say one or two words every now and then for comedic purposes, and obviously then join the fight where he's not a flipping around puppet, as you mentioned in the other thing. So it's so bizarre. And then to then at the very end of it all, then reintegrate him as like the sheriff that Mando turned down and all this other stuff. Shane, I'll tell you right now, you're not getting your wish, buddy. They are making a lot of these, at least another season, at least. And I think they're going to go all hardcore DC CW universe and do like crossovers and all this stuff for the rest of our lives. It's going to be Ahsoka. It's going to be Bo-Katan. It's going to be whatever else they decide to shoehorn in there, and they're all going to cross over until we're done.
Well, here's what I'll say about that. Now that we got the whole Mandalorian clans coming together and they got their planet back, like you said, the probability of a fourth season is probably high. But if you can go back to concentrate on Grogu and Mando, I'm fine. If you want to put Bo-Katan there in an episode, like they did with the first couple seasons, like guest appearance once a season, like one episode for a little bit, and go from there. But keep the mission on Mando training Grogu to be a proper Mandalorian and them just going on space adventures.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
But you're right. The whole droid thing was funny because I kept seeing memes about the Ninja Turtles Krang. And, and that's kind of what it reminded me of, man. But
yeah.
And I agree with you. And we both said it just felt like the last 4 episodes or even most of the season was a Bo-Katan story. It was setting up her next adventure. And it bothered me, but towards the end, I was okay with it, especially like the whole confrontation with Gideon. It should have been between him and Bo-Katan because that's where most of the bad blood was and the betrayal and him taking the planet over. So she really had more of the gripe with him. So I'm glad that was the confrontation.
Sure.
Not him and Mando. But again, for the most part, it worked. Like the droid opening up the doors one by one. I love that whole sequence.
Well, that's classic Star Wars. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I loved all that. But again, you bring up a lot of good points, and I had an issue with everything you said.
Yeah.
Going forward, though, like I said, I just want like the first 2 seasons, them going on adventures and going through the training, and as much as I want Grogu to get his head shot off, but and he finally started using his powers a little bit towards the end.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's
but
turning
that's
more Star Trek than it is
Yes.
Star Wars, and I think that's part of it. But it's also that you just sidelined Mando so much,
Yes,
and then literally you end the season where you shook it like a snow globe and was like, that season didn't count. We're just gonna go back to business next season.
Right. I will say I'm glad, spoiler alert, they didn't have a post-credit scene where they set up another show. I'm glad they didn't go that route because there's no pressure there for them to kind of shoehorn another show in there. I'm glad it just kind of ended in that little
Ahsoka's right behind it, right? Like, it's coming soon,
but
right?
I was expecting some kind of preview towards that show in particular, somehow, some way, connecting the two.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they ended it with them sitting in a little cabin out on that planet with the frog hopping up and whatnot. I was okay with that.
Because it literally goes back to where we should have started this season. And the other part is we got, 8 episodes? And the first episode, I think, was something like 20-something minutes, maybe a half hour tops. The finale,
and it felt like a recap show.
Yeah, the finale was only 39 minutes tops. Like, it was definitely not a full one. And the more I think about all the nonsense, either episodes or moments or things that they did, like, it feels like they just didn't have a season in the can, and this got rushed. Like, beyond belief, they rushed it. And their best bet was to tie it into something they already hadn't coming up.
Right. And again, it was disjointed. We could both agree on that. That's the way I could describe this season. Very disjointed. But I thought it finished on a good note for me anyway. And I would still take this over most of the Star Wars content on Disney Plus. Sorry,
well, that's
Obi-Wan.
The unfortunate tale. Yeah, I'd rather watch this than, I guess than Book of Boba Fett, because at least it's not some old man singing a tank half the time, you know? But like, those Mandalorian episodes are almost some of the better stuff than stuff we got in this season. So I don't know. It's like a hodgepodge of, we have to take half of Book of Boba Fett and part of this season and plus the first couple seasons of Mando, and then that's the Mandalorian versus like
saga,
taking the way the show is actually shaken out. But yeah, it's just messy. I keep going back to just messy because I feel like it was directionless. I feel like they just kind of threw in a bunch of ideas, like it's that South Park Family Guy thing where they had like dolphins just hitting balls that have ideas on them into hoops, and then they just turn it into a episode. So it's bizarre.
It's surprising for Jon Favreau because I think he wrote all these episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
It seemed like most of them, at least. Yeah.
And for him not to have the foresight to plan out like he's done with everything else is kind of surprising, to be honest with you. Like,
I think because he works hand in hand with Filoni. Filoni's got his hand in all of these shows. They both might, to be honest. So it's like they're too busy universe building than they are, actually worrying about show to show, because Disney Plus was built on the back of The Mandalorian, and now if they don't scale it, then what are people going to watch? Because all these other things like your Obi-Wans, your God, what was the other failed ones they had? Like these shows didn't have legs. They're all miniseries. They don't work in general, and a lot of people lost faith, and they don't have any movies on the horizon, so what are they supposed to sell to Star Wars fans that come, year after year to these conventions and have these big, to-dos to announce things and whatever? It's like, what are we just going to keep trotting the same people out every year? So that's what I'm saying. It's turning into Star Trek, where it's like, all right, here's your Picard, here's your Starfleet, whatever thing that you got to, like, it's turning into just this streams of Star Wars-ish stories. Right.
And again, yeah, I agree. Though this does have me looking forward to a Bo-Katan series that they obviously have in the works.
If that's the case.
I would like to see a little bit more of that, maybe just because I have a little soft spot for Katie Sackhoff.
Sure.
But
yeah,
who
doesn't?
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see more of that, and I'm looking forward to the Rosario Dawson vehicle. I can never pronounce that name right, so I'm not going to try.
Yeah, the Ahsoka trailer looks good, but again, we get burned every fucking time.
I know, but yet we keep coming back. We keep putting our hand on the stove.
I know. That was exactly what I was going to end this thing with. I'm like, but we're totally going to watch season 4 because we're sadists at this point. Like, we just keep coming back for more and just going, well, I pay for the damn service. I might as well watch the things that I hope is good. But yeah, we'll be here bitching about it. Don't you worry. So let's move on to something that is absolutely lighting up my life at this point. HBO Sunday nights are killing it again. I know you don't watch Succession, but that final season is hitting its stride a little bit as well. But Barry is what I wanted to talk to you about, because you are caught up with that as well. It is now, they released the first 2 episodes on one night, and now they're up to 3 total. And the one thing that I've noticed with this season, we had some talks on this podcast about the apprehension of, a whole season with Barry in jail. Like, what does that look like? Are we going to go to trial? What is that going to go with? And the way they're doing it, I think it's funnier than it has been in a while. I think it's goofier than it has been in a while. I think everything is just centered around somebody either wants to kill Barry or save Barry, and they're changed their mind almost every other minute. And it's hilarious to watch. And like the added moments, everybody's talking about the last episode with the assassination attempt on Barry in prison, and bringing back, SNL old guards to do it. But yikes, man, this season is almost going full scale, either back to where we kind of were in the original seasons, or I've always said this show feels like a Coen Brothers movie set to television, and I think they've just doubled and tripled down on that, and I'm having a good time. How about you?
Yeah, it's great so far, man. Like, this show is a home run. The only quarrel I have with, like, the first episode, almost like the Mando episode, felt like it was 20 minutes long. Like, it started and then it was over. I'm like, what the hell? But I liked because no spoiler if you haven't caught up, but it doesn't seem like the whole prison aspect of the show is going to be lasting that much longer.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
but I like the development between the Raven, the back and forth he has with Barry, like his whole epiphany of like, we're like Rain Man. I'm picturing he thinks he's Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he thinks Barry's Dustin Hoffman. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that was brilliant, man. Because that's such a dynamic of back and forth, how he discards Barry in one hand, but he kind of does care for him on the other hand. He's just so conflicted on what he wants to do. And you can see the struggle Barry's having of like, he wants to change. He wants to be a good person. But then that whole conversation with Hank that he has, it's like, okay, he's reverting back to kind of his old way.
Right.
And I loved how Henry Winkler did the whole one-man show to the
Kusanov.
Yeah, Kusanov. I thought that was great.
Unreal.
I liked how the guy started talking German. He couldn't talk any other
Honestly,
way.
I thought that was one of the funniest things in the whole thing, outside of just the David Buster's thing, which I thought was hilarious, which is why I had to do it up top. And yeah, just you thought that guy was dead, and to have him just literally like whip back to his wife's covered in like dirt and blood, just like speaking German, was the funniest way they could have done that, and it was unbelievable. And Barry's little outrages, like these little like just slapping himself and going crazy and just like build himself up and going back and forth between that and trying to get out of prison. And oh god, it's so layered, the cast is so deep, and it's showing all the efforts they've done over the last few seasons, and it's all paying off. Every storyline that they bring back in is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely, man, because they're ratcheting up the tension, too, because something's got to give here. Like you said, like Barry's trying to get his way out of it, and he's still delusional with thinking Sally still wants to be with him. By the way, can we just kill Sally off? She pisses me off so much,
but
that
she's
character.
So good at it, though. That's intentional, but yes.
And I know she's supposed to, but man, she does a good job of getting under your skin, because I'm like, do something with her.
I know.
But you're right. Like all the storylines of Hank and Cristobal getting the sand. I'm like, really? It all works, man.
Yeah.
And like Barry's like pinned in a corner. He's like you said, he's got Hank now against him and Cristobal, and he's working with these people, and now the Raven switching side. It's like
the government stuff is excellent. The whole like witness protection,
how there's
people,
how they're they're so flippant with the whole conversation they're having with them. Like, it was great because they're so just nonchalant. Like, okay, whatever, man. Like, you wanted someone to come with you? Like, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's turning into Coen Brothers, like where it feels like they're like Keystone Cops. It's turning into the best of stuff from like Lebowski, Raising Arizona, Fargo. It's like turning into that absurdist. The authorities don't know what the hell they're doing. The show is ultra violent, but also hilarious. Like it just has those things that just make me happy.
Yeah, and it all culminated with the botched hit on Barry, and you're like, okay.
And while
how are you gonna?
I love the look of Fred Armisen in that moment, but I wish it was just some nobody, in a way, because I think it took me out slightly. But I'm still in. But like for a minute there, I was like, oh, does it have to be Fred Armisen?
Yeah, I know. But that whole scene was hilarious, man. Especially with the guy who was draping from the wires, and Barry's kind of just staring at him. Yeah. And it's like, okay, now that's the jumping point for me for the series. Now it's going to really start getting revved up. But I love it, man. It's one of the best shows going on television. Definitely top 5. And another gripe I have is I wish these episodes were 45 minutes. I wish they were just a little bit longer.
I know. We've said that from the beginning. The only thing I'll say, though, and I forget, I know they've done previous seasons where they dropped like 2 or 3 at a time to start the seasons. I forget whether last season did. I felt like they only did 1, and that was part of our complaint about how that season kicked off. But this season, starting with the 2, definitely made sense. You needed at least that. And honestly, I think sometimes we don't like when these batches come out, but sometimes because it just is like, why didn't you just go week to week, especially like strategically, which we can get to with maybe some of the Netflix product, where some people, I've seen a lot of complaints online about like, stop batching these things where you do like half and half or these other things, like just go week to week, but they hate week to week. So that's not going to happen, people. Sorry. But this particular show, being a half-hour show, I wish it was like, wasn't it Thursday nights for a while? Like they would do, like when Parks and Rec was on the air, and maybe even 30 Rock, they would do like just every Thursday was 2 episodes. But I think
Yeah.
that's network to where they have all these episodes to give you, so it doesn't matter. But like with this one, it's like I want it all now. Give it to me now.
Yes. Just shoot it right in my veins, man. Give it to me.
I know. Yeah.
So, but no, great show. One of the I can't give this show enough kudos. It's one of my favorite HBO shows of all time, and I parallel it, dude, because he's the character. He totally reminds me of Dexter. You want him,
Yeah.
You want him to come out of it, but he's a bad guy. Deep down, he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
and he should get what's coming to him.
Oh, totally.
But
yeah.
But you want him to make it out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and at least Dexter, they did more to like try to inflate his backstory and give him some kind of sympathy, like his wiring, his upbringing, is this and that, whatever, and making attempts to be a better person. Like Barry does some of that, but not a lot. So they just kind of, I think there's been no illusions from Hader and company that they're just like, yeah, man, he's a bad dude. Shit's going to happen to him. So, like, whether we're supposed to put some moral value, I don't think so, because it's the same thing, like I said, about all those classic Coen Brothers movies. If the Big Lebowski, if the dude fucking died, you'd be like, oh, that sucks. But you'd also be like, he's a fucking moron. Of course he's going to die. He's going to put himself in some stupid situation. And the same with, Nicolas Cage and Raising Arizona and all these other things. So Barry's not dim. He's just like imbalanced.
right.
Sometimes he has a good heart, but yeah, he's still unhinged.
I do feel they're trying to scratch at that surface a little bit with the whole him blanking out and going to those dream sequences.
Yeah,
like
he's
him
been doing
seeing
that for
the things.
2 seasons now. Yeah,
but now it's kind of getting deep because you're seeing his relationship as a young kid getting introduced to. I keep calling him the Raven, but I forget his freaking name.
Stephen Root's character. Fuchs.
Okay. So, yeah, I think they're starting to kind of scratch the surface with Barry's initial relationship with Fuchs and how that's going to develop. And I think they're going to kind of carry that a little bit more as the season goes along. So we do get like some sort of backstory, but not as maybe deep as like what we had with Dexter is more layered and more textured.
Of course.
So I think they really hit that a lot more in the prison scenes with him just like totally just like blanking out. So
yeah,
a couple of those scenes kind of took me out a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, okay, how long is this episode or how long is this scene going to drag on? But I like it because it gives it context. It's starting to kind of give it a little bit of context.
Yeah. And just the sad part, man, is just that we're 3 episodes into an 8-episode thing and it's going to be gone in a blink before we even know it, But I like what I see so far. I hope I don't think they could screw this up. And I mean that like not only lovingly to the writers of this show that really have known what this show is all along, but honestly, there's no conclusion that I can think of based on what they've kind of presented thus far that would make me go, fuck this show. But yeah, like we keep saying, this is definitely a great start to the show, a show that we've put high hopes on. It is a series finale as well as a season late in the game here for such a show, and I look forward to this each and every week. It's probably the one I look to the most. I mean, again, you don't watch Succession, but that show is also ending, so I'm like more curious, and that show is a very different type of show. But yeah, definitely, I don't think they could screw it up like Mando has, and I don't think they have thus far. So definitely more in the keeper pile going forward with Barry. So we'll keep checking in on that. Great job by you, as always. We'll keep this train rolling. Sad news to report, unfortunately, from Shane and I, that it appears that our friend Chris, who has been with us all on the way, we're hitting basically a year right now as far as episodes go. He will no longer be co-host with us. He has a lot on his plate and will continue to work hard on his Arguing with Myself project that he had before us and has continued throughout here. So be sure to follow Arguing with Myself on all the social media outlets and check out his, reviews and trivia on Fridays and all those endeavors that we do. We wish him the best of luck, and he will be missed around here. He definitely has a lot going on. So sorry to see Chris go. So, best of luck to him. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, be sure to give us the reviews, the subscribe, and come back next week for more recent activity.